Kawasaki, known for their unrelenting power, radical innovations, and bulletproof engineering. This is the company that doesn't just build motorcycles, they build weapons and legends for the road. So grab your fireproof suit. These are the 12 best Kawasaki motorcycles ever built, and we're kicking it off with the Widowmaker itself. Number 12, the Kawasaki H2 Mach IV. We have to start here, because this bike set the tone for everything Kawasaki will do for the next 50 years. In the early 70s, the world was obsessed with displacement. Honda had the CB750, but Kawasaki, being Kawasaki, said, "Four strokes are for nerds. Real men like smoke." So they built this, a 748 cubic centimeter, air-cooled, two-stroke, three-cylinder engine. It pumped out a claimed 74 horsepower, which was absurd for the time. This thing weighed nothing. It was a bicycle with a bomb strapped to it. But the power wasn't the scary part. The scary part was the frame, and I'm using that word very loosely. The chassis was a wet noodle, the brakes were optional, the power band hit like a light switch. It was all bog, bog, bog. And then at 5,000 RPM, bam, violent, uncontrollable, front wheel in the sky power. This bike didn't carve corners. It hinged in the middle. It was a terrifying, exhilarating, smoke-belching monster. It was the fastest accelerating production bike in the world. Today, finding a clean H2 is like finding a unicorn. They all crashed. A perfect museum-quality example can cost you $20,000. A project bike will still be $7,000 to $10,000. There is no modern equivalent. Nothing is this mad. Nothing is this raw. This bike is a middle finger to physics, and it's where the Kawasaki legend truly began. Are you enjoying the video already? Well, we're just getting started. Kindly like and subscribe to our channel. This is how you show us your support. You'll never regret it. But the smoke show couldn't last forever. Kawasaki knew they had to fight Honda, and in 1973, they dropped the nuclear option. Number 11, the Kawasaki Z1 900. If the H2 was a crazy street brawler, the Z1 was a god king. This is quite possibly the most important motorcycle of the 1970s. Honda released the CB750 in 1969 and changed the world. They invented the Superbike, and Kawasaki, who had their own 750 almost ready, threw their entire project in the trash. They were so angry that they said, "Oh, you built a 750? That's cute." And for 4 years, they secretly built this, the Z1, a 903 cubic centimeter, air-cooled, dual overhead cam, inline 4, DOHC. That was pure race tech. It made 82 horsepower. The Honda made 67. This bike wasn't just faster than the Honda, it was a public execution. It reset the entire bar. It was smoother, more powerful, more reliable, and just better. It was the first true Japanese superbike. Its code name inside Kawasaki? New York Steak, because that's what they were aiming for. The biggest, baddest, juiciest prize in the world. The Z1 was a masterpiece. It was beautiful, it was fast, and it was bulletproof. It established the inline 4 as the layout for all superbikes to come. Today, a pristine Z1 is a $40,000 bike. No joke. A good running one will be $15,000 to $20,000. The modern equivalent? That's the beautiful Kawasaki Z900RS. It's a perfect tribute. It's got the classic tail, the root beer and orange paint, and it costs about $12,000 new. But it has traction control and ABS. The original had vibes, and that's it. The Z1 was the king of the 70s. But in the 80s, Kawasaki decided to invent a new word, a word that would define speed for a generation. Number 10, the Kawasaki GPZ900R Ninja. This is it, the father, the original. This is the bike that started it all. This is the 1984 GPZ900R, the first bike to ever be called Ninja. In the early 80s, bikes were still air-cooled. They were still UJM's. Kawasaki took 6 years, went into a top-secret development bunker, and came out with this. It was not an evolution, it was a revolution. It had the world's first liquid-cooled, 16-valve, inline-4 motorcycle engine. It was a 908 cubic centimeter monster that made 115 horsepower. It was the first production bike to hit 150 miles per hour. But it wasn't just the engine, it was the packaging. The engine was a stressed member of the frame. The frame was a diamond design. It was light, it was narrow, it was compact. It was the first modern sport bike. It had an anti-dive fork. It had a 16-inch front wheel for flickability. It looked like a science fiction fighter jet. And then a little movie called Top Gun came out. And Tom Cruise as Maverick raced an F-14 Tomcat down a runway on his GPZ900. And in that one moment, the Ninja became the coolest thing on the planet. This bike dominated. It won the Isle of Man TT. It won everything. It was so good, Kawasaki kept it in production until 2003 in some markets. Today, a Top Gun spec 900R is a collector's dream. You can find a decent one for $5,000. A perfect one? $8,000 to $10,000. It is an icon. But Kawasaki isn't just about pavement. They also built a bike that, well, it can't be killed. And it's probably the best motorcycle they've ever made. Number 9, the Kawasaki KLR 650. Yes, it's on this list. It's on every best of list. Why? Because it's the cockroach. It is the official vehicle of the apocalypse, the zombie uprising, and cheapskate adventure riders everywhere. The KLR 650. This bike was introduced in 1987, and for the next 20 years, they didn't change anything. Why? Because you can improve on perfection. This bike is a tractor. It's a 651 cubic centimeter, liquid-cooled, single-cylinder thumper. It makes about 37 horsepower. It makes about 33 pound-feet of torque. These numbers are not impressive, but that is not the point of the KLR. The point is that it will not ever die. This bike is so simple, it can be fixed with a rock and some spit. It has one carburetor. It has one cylinder. It has a gas tank the size of a Kawasaki mule. It has one known flaw, the doohickey, which is a stupid-sounding name for a balancer chain tensioner. You spend $100 on an aftermarket one, you change it, and the bike is now perfect. It is literally unkillable. The KLR has been to the Arctic Circle. It has crossed the Sahara. It has probably been to the moon. A brand new KLR 650 will cost you about $7,000. And it finally has fuel injection, which in my opinion makes it worse. The 90s KLR is the one you want, the pure carbureted analog machine. You can find a battle-scarred, ready-for-anything 90s model for $2,000, maybe $3,000. It is the best, most reliable, most honest motorcycle, maybe ever. But honest and reliable are boring. Let's get back to the good stuff. Let's get back to 90s insanity. Number 8, the Kawasaki Ninja ZX7R. This is not a motorcycle. This is an poster. This is the bike that was on every kid's wall in the 1990s. The Kawasaki Ninja ZX7R. This bike is team green. That screaming lime green and white paint job, those dual round headlights, those Hoover tube air intakes. This bike just looks like it's going 200 miles per hour. This was the homologation special. This was the bike Kawasaki built so they could go win the AMA and World Superbike Championships. And when they did, the engine was a 748 cubic centimeter inline 4. It made about 123 horsepower, and it made the most glorious, throaty, angry induction roar you have ever heard. This bike was not light. It was not nimble. It was a heavy, stable brute. The new ZX6R is a scalpel. This thing was a sledgehammer. It was designed to be stable as a train through a high-speed sweeper. And it was reliable. This was from the overbuilt era of Japanese superbikes. These engines were tanks. Today there is no equivalent. The 750 class is dead, and that's a shame. The new ZX6R is an amazing bike, but it doesn't have the soul. It doesn't have the presence. These ZX7Rs are shooting up in value. A clean, non-abused one will cost you $7,000 to $10,000, and it's worth every penny. This is peak 90s superbike style. But what if you wanted that 90s Kawi vibe, but in a simpler package? What if you wanted a bike for the real world? Number 7, the Kawasaki ZRX 1200R. Oh, you thought retro bikes were a new thing? Wrong. Kawasaki was doing it back in 2001, and they did it better. This is the ZRX 1200R, and it is the coolest bike on this list. This is a direct replica of the bike that Eddie Lawson rode to the AMA Superbike Championship in the 80s. That classic green square headlight, bikini fairing look. It is pure muscle. This bike is the definition of a UJM, or Universal Japanese Motorcycle. It's a big engine, a simple frame, and handlebars. No BS. But that engine, oh, that engine. It's a 1,164 cubic centimeter, liquid-cooled, inline-4. It was based on the Z1 1200. It made 122 horsepower and a stupid arm-pulling 80 pound-feet of torque. This bike is a wheelie monster. It is a drag racer. It is a stoplight to stoplight king, and it is comfortable. You can actually ride this thing, and it had carburetors. That's right, 4 big, beautiful Keihin carbs. This bike is analog, it's honest. The modern equivalent is the Z900RS Cafe. It's a beautiful bike. It costs $13,000. It's also smaller, and it makes less power and less torque than this 20-year-old monster. The ZRX is a cult bike. People who own them never sell them. You can find a clean one for $5,000 to $8,000. It is the ultimate retro muscle bike, and it's a true Kawasaki legend. So folks, we're getting into the deep end. What do you think of the bike so far? Also, don't forget to smash like, hype, and subscribe. You will be glad you did. The ZRX was a monster on the street, but Kawasaki also built a monster for the dirt. A monster so terrifying, they had to kill the entire racing class. Number 6, the Kawasaki KX500. This is not a dirt bike. This is a weapon of mass destruction. This is the KX500. This bike ran from 1983 to 2004, and it was the king of the open class two-stroke. The engine, a 499 cubic centimeter, liquid-cooled, two-stroke single. It made, we don't know, 65 horsepower, 70? The dynos were too scared to find out. This thing had a power band that didn't hit. It detonated. It was famous for being unrideable. It vibrated so hard it would make your hands go numb. It was impossible to start, and if you didn't respect it, it would throw you into the next county. But it was fast. So fast. This bike dominated desert racing. It won the Baja 1,009 times. It won 12 desert championships. In the hands of a PRO, it was unbeatable. It was so fast it would just float over the sand. There is no modern equivalent. The KX450F is a 4-stroke. It's a scalpel. It costs $10,500. It is sane. The KX500 is not sane. It is a violent, angry, terrifying machine from an era of giants. Because they were so tough, you can still find them. And the prices are insane. A clapped-out project bike is $4,000. A clean late model one, $10,000. Easy, because they will never ever make anything like this again. Okay, let's calm down. Let's talk about the unsung hero. The bike that nobody respects, but everyone should. Number 5, the Kawasaki Ninja 500R EX500. This bike is a legend, not for being the fastest, not for being the most beautiful, but for being the single most reliable, cheap, and forgiving sport bike maybe ever. This is the EX500, the Ninja 500R. This bike ran from 1987 to 2009. 22 years. Kawasaki just turned the factory on and walked away. The engine is the star, a 498 cubic centimeter, liquid-cooled, parallel twin. It was essentially half of a Ninja 900 engine. It made about 50 to 59 horsepower, and it was fun. It could hit 110 miles per hour. This was a real bike, but it was also unkillable. This engine is known to run for 100,000 miles. This is the bike that taught an entire generation of riders. This was the ultimate first sport bike. It was cheap to buy, cheap to insure, and cheap to fix. You could drop it, crash it, abuse it, and it would just start. The brand new Ninja 500 cost $5,300, It's a great bike, but it is built to a price. The old Ninja 500 was built to be a budget bike, but it was still built in the 90s, when budget meant overbuilt. This is the perfect 90s machine. It has, carburetors. It has a simple analog dash. It has a full fairing that actually works. You can buy a perfect, running, ready-to-ride Ninja 500R for $2,000, maybe $3,000 for a perfect one. It is the greatest bargain in motorcycling and an absolute Kawi legend. This bike was a great commuter, but what if you wanted to commute across the country? Number 4, the Kawasaki Concours. Before sport touring was a high-tech, $25,000 category, there was this, the original, immortal Kawasaki Concours. This bike, the ZG1000, ran from 1986 to 2006, 20 years. The formula was pure Kawasaki genius. Step 1. Take the brutal 1-liter engine from the Ninja 1000R. Step 2. Retune it for massive low-end torque. We're talking about 100 horsepower, but it felt like more. Step 3. Put it in a stable, comfortable steel frame. Step 4. Add shaft drive. No chain, no mess. Step 5. Add big, hard-sided, locking saddlebags and a giant fairing. Step 6. Sell it for thousands less than the competition. The Concours was born. This bike is a mile-munching monster. It is the KLR of the highway. These bikes are famous for running 300, 400, 500,000 miles. The engines are bulletproof. The shaft drive is bulletproof. The entire bike is just a tank. It's heavy, it's powerful, and it is comfortable. The new Concours 14 is a technological marvel. It costs $16,000. It has traction control, ABS, and a keyless ignition. It's a spaceship. The old Concours, it has a choke and a gas gauge. This is the ultimate, cheap, reliable cross-country weapon. You can find a 90s-era Concours in perfect condition for $3,000, $2,500. It's the best touring deal on the planet. But touring is for old guys. Let's get back to what Kawi does best. Let's get back to fear. Let's get into the top 3 Kawasaki motorcycles ever created. These are the true monsters on the highway, the legend among legends. Are you ready? Number 3, the Kawasaki Ninja ZX10R 2004. Oh no, this one. In the early 2000s, the leader bike class was hot. Suzuki had the GSX-R 1000 K5, which was a masterpiece of rideability. Honda had the CBR 1000RR, which was a Honda. And then Kawasaki showed up. They didn't want to compete, they wanted to hurt people. This is the 2004 Ninja ZX TENR. This is, and I am not joking, the most brutal, vicious, and unforgiving production motorcycle ever sold to the public. It made 175 horsepower at the crank. It weighed 375 pounds dry. Do that math. That is insane. But it wasn't the numbers, it was the delivery. This bike had no electronics, no traction control, no wheelie control, no steering damper, at first. It had a power band that was a pure vertical line. This bike would wheelie, on accident, at 100 miles per hour in 3rd gear. It was famous for its head shake, which is a polite way of saying it would try to violently rip the handlebars out of your hands. This bike was not a motorcycle. It was a challenge. It was Kawasaki looking at you and saying, "We dare you." The new ZX10R costs $18,000. It has 200 horsepower, but it also has a computer brain from NASA that stops you from killing yourself. The 2004 ZX-TENR wants you to kill yourself. It is a terrifying, legendary, brutal machine. You can find one for $6,000 to $8,000. If you do, please be careful. Okay, I'm sure your heart is racing. Let's talk about something calmer. Let's talk about cruisers. Number 2, the Kawasaki Vulcan 900 Classic. Wait, Kawasaki? Why ES Kawasaki? While Harley-Davidson was busy selling, well, tradition, Kawasaki was busy building better cruisers. This is the Vulcan 900 Classic, and it is, quite possibly, the perfect metric cruiser. Why? Because it gets everything right. First, the looks. It's gorgeous. Big valanced fenders, spoked wheels, a big chrome headlight, a fat teardrop tank. It looks the part. Second, the engine. A 903 cubic centimeter, liquid-cooled, fuel-injected V-twin. It's not a powerhouse. It makes 50 horsepower, but it makes 58 pound-feet of torque. Way down low, it's a tractor, and it's bulletproof. Third, the best part, belt drive. That's right, no messy chain, no heavy power-sucking shaft. A clean, silent, maintenance-free belt drive, just like a Harley. This bike is the reliable Harley. It starts every single time. It doesn't leak oil, it just works. It's comfortable, it's beautiful, and it's an amazing value. A brand new Vulcan 900 Classic costs $9,500. It's still a good deal, but a used one? You can find a perfect, low mileage, garage-kept Vulcan 900 for $4,000 to $6,000. It is the smartest, most reliable, and best-looking cruiser you can get for the money. But smart and reliable isn't why we love Kawasaki. We love them because they are insane. We love them for the H2, the two-stroke monster. And in 2015, they did it again. Number 1, the Kawasaki Ninja H2R. This is it, the king. The bike that proves beyond all doubt that Kawasaki's engineers are certifiably insane. This is the Ninja H2R. In an era of downsizing and eco-friendly bikes, Kawasaki built a motorcycle with a supercharger. A supercharger from the factory. This is not a street-legal bike. This is a track-only machine. This is Kawasaki's middle finger to the entire world. The engine, a 998 cubic centimeter inline-4 with a centrifugal supercharger designed and built in-house by Kawasaki's gas turbine division. The power, 310 horsepower. 310. It makes 165 Newton meters of torque. It has wings, carbon fiber wings, because it has to keep the front wheel on the ground. This bike has been clocked at 249 miles per hour. This is not a motorcycle. This is a land-based missile. It is the most powerful, fastest, most technologically advanced production motorcycle ever built. It is the spiritual successor to the original H2. It is pure, unadulterated what-if engineering. The street-legal H2 makes 228 horsepower and costs $32,000. But the H2R, the full-fat, I want to go to Pluto version, that will cost you $71,999. It is the ultimate Kawasaki. It is a statement. It is a legend. And it is, without a doubt, the greatest Kawasaki of all time. There you have it, 12 bikes. From a two-stroke Widowmaker to a 300 horsepower supercharged missile. This is a company that gave us the first Ninja, the most reliable adventure bike, and the most brutal superbike. They are not afraid of anything. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite Kawasaki? And if you enjoyed this ride through the history of pure, green insanity, do us a favor. Smash that like button, hype, hit subscribe, and ring that bell. Until next time, ride safe. And please be careful if you buy that ZXTENR.